Going everybody, welcome back to Is It a Buy, where we talk about stocks and try to determine if they're worth a buy or maybe a pass. My name is Corey. I'd just like to preface the video by saying I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who likes to talk about stocks, so please take what I say with a grain of salt, all right? Let's get into the video today. I do want to talk about a few stocks here, so I'll jump right into it. Let's talk about PROG, Progenity. This is a stock I have a nice position in. I feel pretty good about it. And I just wanted to talk about where it is currently and take a look at the Ortex data and see what's going on. So, as we can see, today was up 14.19%. It did break over that $3.38 mark, or it ended there, I should say, over the $3 mark. Currently in the after hours, down just a little bit, 1.48%, which isn't so bad. It's pretty nice retracement, actually. I'm very happy with that. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if it retraced a little more tomorrow, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it went freaking crazy tomorrow. Let's take a look at the Ortex data. We can see here, actually, before we hop to the Ortex data, take a look over here at this level of resistance that I had previously. I'd drawn it back here whenever the stock first touched, 325 about, and because we had a few candle wicks here, and I felt like this is a pretty good spot that if we broke through it, we'd probably see a nice little run. Right now, we can see we broke through it. Now, this could be a bull trap, or this could be something of a new level of support, right? If this holds as a level of support, then I think this stock is going to take off. Either way, I'm pretty bullish on this stock overall, just based on the Ortex data. And I think now would probably be a good time to take a look at it. So let's get it pulled up. So we see here, let's go ahead and pull up the utilization. Utilization 99.89. It really does not get much better than that. We'll take a look at the shares on loan. Shares on loan, I would consider this an all-time high, considering it's off by less than 100,000. As we know, it's T+2, so the data is a little bit off. If we were to look at the data back here and just put it on the 1 day, just to make it super easy, we can see the 1 day candles. So we're still back here, right? So let me see, we're back here. So it was obviously pretty heavily shorted. And so tomorrow is the big day where I'm very curious to see where the stock is. And then even then, the next day. For that T+2 for what happened today, that plus 14%. So I'm going to continue to watch it and see what's going on. Either way, let's say, let's say they did, cover a lot of these shares. I mean, even then, I don't see it going past, 30 million shares, right? And even then, the percentage of the free float on loan is pretty huge. They would have to cover, I think we would know if they covered a large amount. I think we would see a huge move, 100% plus, 50% plus move for them to cover anywhere near what the stock is needed for them to get out of their short position. Okay, and so I feel super good about it. Let's take a look. Obviously, shares on loan, free float on loan are going to look exactly the same since there was not like a share offering yet or anything. And so just keeping an eye out here. It's extremely high. Short interest all the way up here at 67.45%. Just ridiculously high. Not quite the all-time high, off by 0.3%. So really nothing there. So I'm super long on PROG. I just really like the Ortex setup. And so that's what I'll say there. Let's hop over to the next one, Bbig. Let's see how they did for today. Bbig right here. All right, Bbig was plus 4.43% today. Oh, I got a subscriber while I'm recording a video. Bbig was up 4.42% on the day. 4.43% on the day. Ended the day at $5.42. And we can see here in the after hours down 1.85%. Nothing too crazy. We can see here the Ortex data were right here. So when it was heavily shorted, so it had pretty much a down day. And we look at the Ortex data right here, utilization at 97.79%, ridiculously high. And the shares on loan had an all-time high. Now, granted, this was all these days ago, but this stock is again, like, we've seen the potential it has. I mean, it's been all the way at what was this, just under $10, currently at $5. I think it's a super discount right now. I actually got in around, I think, $8.50, and I've actually been adding to my position a little bit because I feel like this stock, the further it goes down, and this is kind of my own head, the way I think about it, make your own decision, but whenever I look at it and it starts to go down, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to average down, you know, or because, and the reason I put the quotations is because I'm purchasing options typically because I'm a little more risky, but I understand what options entail, what that entails. I do have an options video if you're interested. Take a look at it. People seem to really like it. It makes it super easy to understand options and trading options. Okay. And so yeah, so I'm super bullish on BBIG. I'm really looking forward to big moves coming very, very soon. I wouldn't be surprised if we had that run within the month, right? Or I guess the month was over within a few weeks. ATER, this is what I wanted to take a look at because this one's actually pretty interesting in what's going on here. We can see it's down 4.67%. These are the one-day candles, so we are right back here whenever I had a huge just rundown, right? It went all the way from let's see, what was a negative 13.91% day, almost negative 14% day is the data we're looking at, and then today was down another 4.67%. So let's take a look at the utilization over here, 91.12%. And you know, it seems kind of weird how it just kind of plummeted. And this is the reason I want to bring this one up is because it kind of doesn't make much sense to me. The utilization dropping whenever it seemed to be heavily shorted, unless there was some kind of news catalyst. Actually, that's what happened. So there was the news catalyst of they were switching. Was that this one? One second. Let me take a look really quick. Hold on a second. News. Was this the one? Somebody switched CEOs. Three days ago. Okay, I can't recall what the catalyst was for here, but it's just very interesting. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on because mostly what I'm going to look at right here is look at the shares on loan. It's very strange because it seems to be going downward, right? Considering there was no big spike. Usually whenever there's a spike, the shares on loan goes down, yada, yada, yada. And it looks like they just shorted the stock even more. So this one is a little interesting. I'm going to keep a close eye on ATER because it seems to be moving just very randomly. Typically there's a pretty clear direction that I can kind of see. Okay, they shorted it more, utilization's higher, stock is down further, shares on loan is higher, and it's kind of doing the opposite of everything that I think of, or what we typically see, I should say. And so I'm definitely going to, like I said, keep a close eye on it, and I'll continue to update the channel just because it is pretty curious what's going on here. OCGN. So I wanted to bring up OCGN again because today they had a nice day right here. Where we at? Where's OCGN? Right here. Look at this. They were up 12.26% in the regular trading hours. Then in the after hours, they were up an additional 38.54%. The stock is going crazy, right? We had a gap fill back here, and I went ahead and filled that. I put like a little black box, and then looks like it kind of touched a little bit with this candle wick, right? And this is the one-day candle, so it looks kind of weird right now. But what we can see here is this stock is looking pretty solid. I mean, that's a huge day. I wanted to take a look at the Ortex data to see, you know, if there was any kind of indicator that something like this might be happening or anything. Utilization was at is kind of teetering back and forth between 94 and like 98%. And so that's what we have there. The shares on loan, right? Shares on loan consistently increasing. And especially for where it is right now, the free float on loan is 39.03%. That's a lot of the free float that is just on loan. Almost half of the stock is on loan, which is just crazy. And we can see here, so that's all the way up there. Take a look at the short interest. Short interest also very much trending upward, 30.92%. And this one, I feel like there's a lot in this one's tank if you're bullish on it. I don't think I have a position in OCGN, but it just seems to be, it looks like it's like struggling to break out of this, you know, under $10 mark. And I think very soon, actually, did it break out today? Oh yeah, it finally broke out of the $10 mark. So I think it's going to be in bullish territory, especially with these shorts if they have to start covering or something. Could be a nice play. I'm currently personally just not in it. This is one that I wanted to take a look at. I've been looking at the short interest numbers for just the stock market in general. And Ortex has a pretty easy way to kind of show the short interest of these stocks. And this is one that kind of popped up on my radar. It's been on here for a little bit, but I never really wanted to pull it up just because I don't know, they just didn't really look too good to me. But something I noticed today is I'm going to put this one back here. And so look how it had this little gap down, you know, it was looking pretty good, had a gap down and kind of been trending downwards. We can take a look at PROG before the run, right? If we look at PROG before the run, it had something very, very similar. It was kind of a gap down and then, you know, just super kind of flat. Something very similar here, right? Gap down, kind of flat. This one is not exactly the same, but ATER gap down, kind of flat, and then it had a huge run. And so just based on historically, and granted, this is not how stocks work, but something I just want to call this one out just in case anyone is a little more risk tolerant and they want to take a risk on this kind of play. All the numbers look pretty solid, kind of trending upward with the shares on loan. We can see the utilization 98.17, extremely high, especially there hasn't been any kind of move. Same thing with the shares on loan, kind of trending upwards. It hasn't been any kind of move. And the short interest is also trending upwards as well, right? Very macroscopically, but we can still see it's been trending upwards even microscopically. So this one is one that I just noticed and I wanted to call that out. The final one that I want to talk about today is Sundial. This one has been on my radar for a little bit. Diamond Backhand from the channel, he actually talked about this with me a little bit as well. And shout out to Diamond Backhand. This one has been moving upward for a while, right? We all know this is a flower stock and utilization right here is at 98.31%. We all remember whenever the flower stocks went crazy and they were just like that huge run. I mean, this one from 25 cents all the way to almost $4, right? I mean, just crazy run. And of course they all kind of fell flat. This is, I think, whenever we were changing presidents and people thought Biden was going to support flour, and turns out he doesn't exactly. That's not his agenda. So I think there's a lot to be had here. Granted, this might be a longer play, but this one's very interesting. I mean, we can take a look at the shares on loan, very high. I would consider this an all-time high considering nothing has covered here. And then the short interest is also at 16.66%, which is perfectly fine. I think above that threshold to have some kind of move, right? I think for this one, you'd just be waiting on a catalyst, but I think the catalyst could cause potentially a gamma squeeze, to be honest. And if we take a look over here at the options for, let me put this back on the regular, we'll put it on the 2-hour candles. And let's take a look at Sundial over here. We can see, what did I want to see on Sundial? We're taking a look. Oh, I'm going to look at the options chain, right? This is one of those ones that I think are pretty cool because take a look at the options. You could get one all the way for January of 2023, right? A whole year. And for $1 or something, and if it breaks this, I mean, you can make some serious cash. If you put like $1,000 in this thing, what would that be? $40. Okay, perfect. So if you put $1,000 in this thing, let's say it goes to $2, I mean, you make some, triple your money very easily. And so, it gives you plenty of time. Even if it had a huge move before then, you'd probably make even more than this money because it hit there sooner. And, you could just cash out or ride it even higher or wherever it's going to go. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential here for this kind of play. Granted, options are a little risky, but you have a whole year, over a year, for it to really play out for you. So just wanted to call that out really quick. And just in case anyone is thinking about it, this is something I've been thinking about for a while. I may take a position in here, but it's more of a long-term play. I'm looking for short-term, more riskier plays, I would say. And whenever I get to a place where I'm happy, then I will, especially while AMC is not mooned yet, I'm just going to continue to hold and play some other plays. And then whenever everything kind of moons, which could be relatively soon, that's when I'll be really making my plays and diversifying and going long on a lot of these stocks. Okay, but that's what I wanted to give to you guys. Thank you so much for bearing with me there. I wanted to talk about all these stocks because I think they're pretty interesting. I think there's a lot of plays out there, right? Especially while you're holding, waiting. As you know, I haven't left my AMC position. I love my AMC position. I have a little bit of play money that I'm just messing around with and seeing if I can, match my AMC gains or something in the meantime. But all right, guys, that's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. Have a great day. Peace.